And welcome to La Vida Baseball, being Guillén. Happy Friday to all those. I hope everyone's staying safe. I know that it's been a rough 5 days for the country for baseball, so I hope everyone is doing is safe in their homes watching La Vida Baseball, and I hope that you guys are great. Nice to see you. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And I see already on camera, I look way tanner. I was in California making some big life decisions. I'm glad to be back in Chicago. We're golfing today, hopefully, and I'm going to try to take some of my dad's money, even if it's $6.
Oh, well, they were playing golf the last couple of days. I think
anything's possible.
Can make money. I said, like, oh my God, I just told my friend, my partner, I said, you know what? I get up at 6 o'clock to play this way. I just stay watching La Vela.
For Ozzy, I'll give him that much. I'm with the baby 4:35 in the morning, and I'll hear him get ready. He goes out. He walks out of the house around like 6 in the morning.
So he's getting after.
He's getting after. So at least dedication.
The only reason I go to 6 is just because when I come in, I play for 2 hours, 3 hours. Then
we're having breakfast
here. And I spend time with Abdella and the family.
Yeah, and you know what? I told anyone that knows me, I'm not the laziest Guillén, but I'm the one that wants to be the most comfortable. And I did say that I wouldn't golf until we got into the phase of that you can use carts and you can play with a foursome. So thank you for the city of Chicago, and everyone's doing great things, and we look like we're moving along on the pace that they said we're on phase 3. Hopefully phase 4 comes before July gets here. So
well, there's movement moving forward again. The last couple of days, there's just been a lot of news in the United States in the forefront of another unfortunate situation that happened. Someone lost their lives because of excessive force. That's been an issue that they're dealing with. So that's taken away kind of the eye everyone was looking at, which was the situation obviously with COVID-19. But in the world of baseball, the reality was that the negotiations for a season is not going well. And it's being played out in social media. And that's something that we're going to cover in today's topic. You can join on our social media platforms, send your questions, your concerns. If you have any input, please let us know. But we're going to be diving a little bit deep. We're going to be taking a time
into like 1994. Back to the future, back to the past.
Well, because I realized, Oni, that in 1994, okay, I knew what was happening in the sense of like my dad doesn't have a job, okay, because he's not playing baseball because of something called a strike. And I've read it, but I've never really had a conversation until last night of what really was happening in those days from a player standpoint. So on August 12th of 1994, the Major League Baseball players went on strikes because they were fighting to agree with the owners on a salary cap, meaning the owners wanted a salary cap, so the players thought it wasn't fair. And the strike was the first time no World Series due to a strike. The strike was for 232 days. And the players had successfully resisted the cap, and they were successful. But that did come with a price, which people still mention today, was that baseball took a huge hit. No World Series, lost a lot of fans.
Well, I like to think, I don't know why, but I like to think that we were a part of it in a way because, the team that Ozzy was on was really successful that year. And you never know what could have happened. A lot of people say the Sox would have probably been in the World Series. That's a pretty safe bet because they were, coming off a playoff series. But all I do remember is being sad. My dad lost money and the fans were hurt. 95, like if you look at attendance, awful. 96, awful. Baseball really, it took a while to get back on its feet. And obviously, McGuire and Sammy, 98, they saved the game, bringing fans back. Because this is going to leave a bitter taste in people's mouths if this happens again. Because whatever those guys suffered, whatever you guys suffered, you guys took that hit and you lost, I don't know, maybe $2 million. People took this hit is for this not to happen again.
So that's the part that I want to talk about. So, and I want Ozzy to get into it, this is not a collective bargain.
No.
This is a situation that no one foresaw. And I know that the owners, there's reservations about the owners for the collective bargaining. There's reservations about the players for the collective bargaining. But this is not the collective bargaining. This is something that we've seen across sports, teams, organizations taking pay cuts, trying to get on the field. So I wanted to talk to Ozzy because it's really been played out in social media.
There wasn't Twitter in 1994.
Correct. So tell us, how was that whole process on the 94 of you guys getting ready to go to the strike?
What they would criticize is like, okay, before we trust our main men,
which was
Done fair.
Fair.
And the people work on it. And every time they say this is the way we're going to go, we trust that guy so much. And you know what? Very, very smart.
So you guys were on the same page.
In the same page, no matter what. Some players, obviously, they like, why we do this, why we do that. Then we just thought about the future of the game. Okay, that started 2 years before that. No, I'm sorry, not the future of the game, the future of the baseball players. The one making right now $300 million.
Right. You guys.
$200 million.
So 2 years before 1994, the union started talking to the players about there might be a time where we have to in the collective bargaining because owners wanted a salary cap, meaning Giancarlo Stanton control the game, meaning no one can make $150 million, meaning this is going to be the cap. And players said, absolutely not. We don't want to have a cap in our sport. So for 2 years prior to 94, you guys are having these conversations.
And they're always talking about how a baseball back then, I know he always brings it up, it had the strongest union in sports.
No, in United States.
Right, even bigger than
it was proved in that strike.
Because I mean, in the long run.
We started saying, we're going to start. I was part of the union in Latin America. I said, we're going to start saving some money, taking on your paycheck monthly, just in case we went to the strike we went.
Just in case you need those financial.
I had a couple of players making a stupid financial business, knowing we're going to go to the strike. And I remember our owner, Jerry Ryan, say, guys, if you're going to start the strike, we're going to have a strike.
There won't be a World Series.
There won't be a World Series. I turned around and started laughing. I did. I told Robin Jack McDowell a year ago, really? Boom. Yes. No World Series.
They called the bluff.
But we never thought, because, Jerry at that time got a lot of power. I don't know now because I'm out of the game. Jerry got a lot of power in what to say or not to say.
He was one of the owners that was very active.
He's in the forefront.
And again, the owners are represented
more acting about it. But we say, guys, you guys go.
It will happen.
By the way, we're in first place. And this is to be in first place for a long time.
I can't believe you guys. I mean, you did it, and that's the thing. They took the risk. It didn't work out in the short term because they lost the World Series in the playoffs. But in the long term, look what it led to.
Okay, that's what I was talking honestly last night. I'm sitting around, I go, well, you care? When I was talking with the media, I said, no, this is a party thing. We have to go. We got to stick together. We stick together. No, we're going to die or we're going to have success. Go be together. I went home. Back in my mind, I said, my God, I'm losing all this money. My God.
So you had to sign a big
time. You had time. A lot of people.
So let me explain this, okay? And when he says time is this. So if you get 10 years in the big leagues, and depending on how much time you're in the big leagues means later on you get your pension, just like you would in your regular job, or some type of compensation from back in the day for the companies that have that. Right now, the guy that is in the major league roster is getting a year of service even without playing. In 1992, when they went on strike, because they didn't get service.
Yeah, you know why? Because that was a different thing. The strike is a battle between owners and players. Now it's a battle about baseball. It's not about on one side or another side. It's a battle about everybody has to be together, no matter who losing or who wins.
Okay.
Nobody going to win or lose. They stay together for the good of the game.
Because right now the future of baseball is on the balance. Why? Baseball's not only competing against other sports, okay, but baseball's competing against this. Baseball's competing against us. Baseball's competing against TikTok, other leagues. Japan can afford a guy and take him. This can become more like soccer. So this big dominance of Major League Baseball over a sport can definitely water down. And saying baseball's always going to be around, but it's going to be around maybe with the best player in the next 10 years playing in another league, or teams making 400, 500K a year because they say that's what we're going to sign you for.
And it also looks. I mean, I see both sides. I will always side with players,
of course,
because those 30 owners, they're very, very wealthy. Okay, and who loses in this? I mean, obviously everyone loses in this. More so the fans, and it looks awful, like you said, when there's Europe green light already going for a league. Players, everyone decided we're taking pay cuts because this is the way it is. We want to finish our season when we want to play. That's fine. So now you have Twitter, which will lead into our next topic. Now you have Twitter everyone's arguing back and forth, and you hear different things. People are leaking stories about what's actually going on. Max Scherzer came out the other day and he said, it's not looking good. We laughed at the proposal that they gave us, laughed at it. And now Tony Clark and these guys are going back with a 100-game proposal and discuss with the salaries.
Right now,
but it's people that have a lot of money. I mean, to an average American, $7 million is a lot. And I know you always say, like, well, they're special at their job. I understand that. But from what the country is going through,
well, that's the part.
You don't want to hear that.
You don't want to hear that. That's the
you do not want to hear that.
We have
there's people living off a $1,200 stimulus check.
We have to forget about winning and losing. We have to remember this year, next year,
back to normal.
No, players can do whatever. Okay, we're going to strike. Why? Because we don't like this. That's it. But right now, when you're a traffic light and you see amber lights.
Yeah, like flashing.
You know what the next one is? Red. Be careful for next year. If this light amber will flash very quick and the red coming pretty soon, then baseball will crush. And all the battle between players.
Well, it's all about money.
You don't see any owner or any part of people on the owner side talking.
No.
So in 1994, okay. So you guys would get in your meetings. You told me that it would be on the phone, and every rep would represent each country.
No, it would have been the phone with the players rep.
Each player. So you guys would talk to each country, but it would be like a message sent down.
That's it.
There wasn't no communication. You guys are not going to the media.
Players know what's happening on those meetings when we talk to Donald, when we talk to
Tony
Bernard, Mark Belanger, rest in peace. All those guys, rest in peace. Then he goes say, listen, guys, that's what we have. Any question, any thought, and somebody say, well, boom, boom, boom. They told you right away exactly your question. A lot of people say, well, we never say we're suffering because we save money.
How much money did you lose that obviously you might have made back, but how much money right away would you have in the line?
About $1.2 million.
And that was the average around there?
No, I think he's set to make more.
Okay, the funny thing about it, Ozzy, we talked about it yesterday. You know what's so much gap?
Well, you said there wasn't a gap between
one guy, it was a gap, obviously.
But it wasn't like a 35.
The best player always, compare the best with the kid, but don't say the words for the kid. Obviously, it's different. But now the gap, you're talking about a gap of $28 million.
Well, here's the gap, though, like talking about like gap. So you played the best player at your position at the time was Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, we're making 6, 7.
So Cal was making like 6.5. Ozzy was making 4. And everyone under Ozzy was like 3, 2, 1.
It's pretty
so it was a very balanced, even when you want to fight. So a little bit easier to negotiate and try to have the balance. So when you guys go on strike, one thing that you said that was very unfortunate was guys like Gus Polidor never were able, Tony Armas, were never able to come back to play.
It's going to happen this year.
Meaning guys are going to get released.
Well, exactly. Well, it's already happening with the minor leaguers.
Yes.
A lot of minor leaguers are getting crushed by this. You never know because, some of these guys could actually make it to the big leagues. You just never know. What is unfortunate is, and we have people asking us, what would you do? What would you give to the players and owners? Say, guys, because it's all about money.
Advice on it.
What would you say? Like, you know what? You got to bite the bullet. We just got to play.
Okay. I said, listen, guys, I respect everybody's opinion. It's a human being. It's a player. I don't care what people say because I went through it and I lost a lot of money, a lot of time in my career because helping players, not helping baseball, I was helping the players. But I think I said, listen, how about for first time ever, get together and for the good of the game, just move on. For the good of the game, how many games you going to play? 2 months? Okay, can you be together for 2 months?
So that's the part. I think that the collective bargaining, I would have said, okay, whatever you guys want to do, we're going to do it. But in the collective bargaining, the first time they rebut on anything that we want,
exactly,
we're striking.
Put it across.
And no, we'll make it sure that the Twitter and the media is used for this. Saying, hey, we're agreeing to do this, but take care of us.
Let me tell you one thing. I don't think the players will strike. I don't think they're strong enough. Mentally, financially, Because you're gonna.
So do you think that right now, because right now wouldn't be considered a strike? Do you think I don't think if they play right now, I think this might carry to 2021.
Okay.
Yeah,
strike
until they negotiate.
By the way, but then the player association going to lose power because they want to say, you know what? That's what we're going to give you guys. Okay, now it's the conversation.
Until
they endorse, sign a contract yet.
Mookie Betts,
Mr. Barrett.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about now, when the guy making $300 million, when the guy making $1 million, and wait a minute, I don't want to strike.
And you're also the best player in the game.
No. Here's the thing about this. I know that the thing is that our fans and people don't want to hear this, but it's like you said, I'm for anything that gets guys to play. If you're not going to make $20 million, okay, but you're going to make $8 million.
Yeah,
but that's whatever it takes to play.
But it's you got to be kind of you in baseball. I say, well, if I make $30 million, I'm going to make $8 million. You're talking about $22 million.
Okay.
People say, oh, come on.
That's a lot of money.
Whoa, crowd. That's my job. That's my business. I don't care about what Pedro, Jose, media. No, this is my money.
Okay, so would you rather make $8 million or would you rather make nothing for the remainder of the year?
No, I'm not bigger than the game. I'm not. It's the same. The game was saying we play and you're going to make $1 million. I said, okay, you have choices. I'm not playing.
Correct. Stay home. It just looks terrible.
I know players that have left $5-6 million
or 15, whatever. But my point is this: if that's, I feel like, and I'm a baseball guy, so baseball is taking a huge hit already with the fan base because it looks like players are bickering. Players are bickering about money.
Can the players do themselves a favor, please? Quit be immature. Every day we see somebody in the social media.
Well, that gets to the next topic. Next topic. Trevor Bauer, Kyle Loesch. If you don't know who Kyle Loesch is,
I'm sure the people know who Trevor Bauer is.
Well, they know. So that's why I have an issue with the whole Trevor Bauer thing because he has an agenda. He's pushed. Trevor's always been. He claims to be a union guy and all this. He's also a very selfish guy. I'm going to clean the game, calling guys out, doing things. So he has his own media company. So Trevor's got Trevor.
He's talking Kyle Loesch after baseball.
There's fans out there calling Kyle Loesch like you sucked on fantasy baseball. You did Kyle Loesch played a long baseball career. Was a great player. Was he Nolan Ryan? No, but he was a guy that played the game. And Kyle's advice was something that in the world of baseball, again, the world of baseball is like older guys and younger guys and people like ourselves that have been around the game for a while. They were like, why are they tweeting? And I love Twitter. But the question was, why are they tweeting their feelings and their emotions on an open negotiations on what's going on? So that's what Kyle Loesch's advice originally was. Again, I think he miscommunicated it because I think he kind of jabbed on Trevor because of Trevor's attitude. But then Trevor comes out and calls out not only the union, but he also calls out the number one agent who at the end of the day might have his best interest in Scott Boras because he has all the big boys. So who's going to dictate if we're going to play or not?
It's just, and have you heard anything come from the owner's side?
Because they're smart.
Exactly. These guys are all like
Jerry's tweeting.
Exactly.
Jerry's tweeting.
By the way, I text Jerry about something out. He even text me back in 3 days because I don't want to get involved.
You can tell.
I know what texting about what happened.
No, I know as a friend, but I'm saying these guys again. The employee owner mentality, it's like the little guy wants the big guy. They're owners for a reason.
It's all going to be a big guy.
I'm saying, but they're owners, like they're always going to own the teams, but their tactics, you said right now, the maturity level, maybe your generation would have also rebutted, but you didn't have the tool.
The phone, right?
For Trevor Bauer to say, he called Kyle Loesch, no, he said, you're mentally disconnected to the game. If you think that Twitter is going to change baseball, Trevor, I'll give you an example. He's sitting right next to me. World Series manager, Ozzie Guillén, successful, all that. Just because they don't like the way that he is, he doesn't get an interview with a team. That's how strong ownership in baseball is. They can keep you out.
You know what? And I wouldn't be shocked if Bauer doesn't get a contract.
By the way, how about this? You know what? All these things happening because the player association, and I have friends out there, and Clark is a friend of mine. I respect him, what he think he did, and he's doing it for pleasure. Pick the phone. I say, listen, Poppy, shut up. shut up. You're ruining everything we try to do. And every player tweet, can you please don't tweet nothing. That's between us.
And that is what one of the things that Kyle Lowe said. Like, you're telling me I'm disconnected, but you have players talking about playing or on video games, Blake Snell, talking about what happened or how you're feeling about this. I know we're living in a different time.
No,
but yeah,
stop.
I don't think this helps with negotiations.
That never happened.
But I think that you can use social media.
That never happened with Don't Fair. I said Don't Fair with it. I wasn't spoken. Don't Fair. I signed a contract. You know what's a good contract for the player, for the union. I signed a contract. I told Don't Fair, I said, what? I want security. I don't want to be rich.
Yeah, they wanted you to be a free agent.
All of a sudden, I did. I said, okay, I want you guys to do free agent, do the best shortstop right now. You make more money. The people in the bottom, they're going to say, okay.
They wanted you to go super high.
Okay, he's about to be hurt. The people in the bottom and the playing union,
are they going to feed
they're
you?
going to feed my kids. I said, no,
because there was a person like you.
But he had the guts to call me and say, hey, come on, same way, Clark.
So you're saying Tony Clark had to call the people and say, what's going on?
I said, listen, guys, stop doing this.
This is not helping.
That's not helping no one. And besides that, we made the decision Don't we?
Well, it's unbelievable because it wasn't not only Trevor Bauer. It's not only Trevor Bauer. You had other agents.
Well, that's the part.
The female agent was saying everything that's going on.
Now, agents say whatever they want because it's a part of it. It's not honor playing. But now we give the agents a power to get involved in something for his own interest.
Right.
Scarborough is the best agent in the history of the game. I don't think it could be. But Scarborough never was Kirikuto agent. He's always picking.
Yeah, he's always picking. But
wait a minute. Then how you gonna let an agent? He's a guy between one side and another, saying stuff, or other agents saying stuff, having an opinion. I say, if I was the other, say, wait a minute, who are you?
So there's always been there's always been big agents. That's the mistake people make. We just know about Scott because of marketing. But during the strike in 1994, the top 5 guys had the same company. It was the Tony Chiricasa of the world. It was the up-and-coming Fernando Cusa.
Yeah, but they're asking questions. They
reply. They will respond to questions. They want to know.
How do you think people are going to feel? Because now, I mean, fans are loving this because they can actually see what's going on. But how do you think they're going to feel if nothing gets done? They're going to destroy players and call them greedy.
So you know what the players are talking about? By the way, you want to fix this problem? David Price is like, I'm going to give $1,000 for every player in the minor leagues. You know what would fix this problem right now? You make it very easy. You say, okay, you know what? We're going to play for this 50%, 30%, but this is what we want. We want health care for the rest of our lives. And for anyone who touches a day in the big leagues, they get health care forever. We want every minor league baseball player to get paid for the rest of the season, regardless if you're going to release them or not. And we'll play for this. And now you're putting it on them and saying, oh, whoa, you can take that out of another budget. So you're claiming that you're doing this for the union and you're doing this for that. That's what the union's about. The union's about like, okay, what can I get with as little as possible?
Did you see what
David
Price?
David Price is $1,000 for all the minor league players.
David Price is paying
$1,000 a month
out of his own pocket.
Okay.
Well, obviously, it's a big pocket.
The Red Sox minor leaguers are like, why did we trade him?
David Price hasn't pitched for the Dodgers 1 inning, and he is paying out of his own pocket for the minor league
Bless
guys.
his heart. He's a way better human being than me.
Right. I think he's not giving it.
If I had the type of money, I worry about the kids in the minor league. But do you know the funny thing about it? You think the minor league kids, they're going to appreciate that, hey, man, I remember No way. Thank you, David Price. Thank you for
that's really impressive.
That's impressive.
And everybody should follow you in every organization to donate the same way about money. Maybe some people know how to do 1,000, 200, 300.
Okay.
All the big.
But this is my next point. The Dodgers are owned by the Guggenheim Group. That
Ballers.
Their fund is $270 billion. Billion.
With a B.
$270 billion, the Dodgers. And David Price has to pay the minor leaguers. That is awful. That is why, shout out to the White Sox, the Cubs, I think the Twins, everyone that is continuing to pay their employees all the way through because that's what you expect.
But there's a moment to change that, though. So
by the way,
wow.
I talk about the White Sox because that's the organization I know. say, Jerry Rhino, he will say, I pay the salary to the employee before I pay the player.
Correct. Well, that's the part that so Trevor Bauer does not understand this. So across Major League Baseball, every employee, and especially the big ones, all took 30% cuts. Okay? So like
They don't have
a choice.
Again, though, you work for the organization. Again, baseball players work for the team. Again, in soccer, the mentality of the sport is organization, not in baseball. The sad part was about the Trevor Bauer and Kyle Loesch, which was I was not a big fan of.
Childhood.
No, was that you got to see former baseball players and current baseball players going at it on social media, calling each other out, saying your time is up, you're washed up, you didn't do anything. And then Kyle, hold on,
Kyle, what's his name?
Trevor Bauer.
I thought he would talk about me. Then he would have a big fight in Twitter. You know why? Because challenge, Trevor. Watch, you are now. You was a former. I said, listen, first of all, what did you ever do in Major League Baseball? You only got a couple years in the big league doing nothing. People remember you. You know what's funny? People remember you because you're the one throw the stupid ball to center field.
And you said the thing about the
curve, okay, all the stuff. I face a lot of guys, Mike Wrigley, with better curveball than anybody, Black Levin, better curveball than anybody. Nobody talk about rating. No, people, you think because you read 2 more books than anybody else, you're smarter than anybody else.
Yeah, keep
it to yourself. I know you. Everything I say, I'm in this show, in the past, I say, you was right, I'm with you. Right now, brother, just worry about your life. Don't worry about what the people saying, because the people watching this game in the past suffer money, time, life to make baseball players
make money
better and make more money than we make. Then please keep it to yourself and let the conversation move on.
So here's a part that's interesting about the gap on like negotiations. Okay, at the time when the strike happened, it was because guys were not making. It can even be free agents. There was collusion. Guys couldn't jump. Guys couldn't make a decision. Now there's rumors that guys are making too much money, saying it's not even physical businesses. We cannot run business like this. And there's a part that's crucial for this. There's only about 10 teams right now that are currently doing business the old school way of let's give guys as much money as possible. Tampa, gone. They're like, we're going to pay what we can afford. Oakland, we can pay what we can afford. There's only a couple of teams out there that are doing crazy business.
White Sox to this year.
The Detroit Tigers, but again, even the White Sox compare their team. The Detroit Tigers are not, and I love Mickey Cabrera. They're like, we cannot rebuild because you have to pay Mickey $30 million when he's 42. Was this a good contract for us? So those are things that are like, teams are like, whoa, okay, we understand in 94 that it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. So for a good product to be on the field, is there ever a tipping point? So Trevor Bauer, okay, at this moment, has 8 Major League Baseball seasons, okay? It's give or take, okay? So
how many 8 years? But you're talking about 8 years, like he played 1 month or he played 3 days?
Again, I'm just saying so when you're saying like union and stuff, there was guys out there, and that's the part that I hate to see, the old school and the new school. There was guys out there. Fred McGriff, man. Fred McGriff is not a Hall of Famer.
Because of those 2 months.
Because of those year and a half, 2. Not only that, he physically was not playing.
Yeah.
He physically was. He would have been a Hall of Famer. Money in his pocket. Harold Baines was signed for 1 year, $1 million every year, because he thought that he was not. That's why you have guys like Eddie Murray making $4 million, the most he ever made, at 40 years old, because in '92 he lost money and he had to prove himself. So you have guys that made major sacrifice. Kurt Flood, gone out of baseball. So there's guys
can be free agents.
So guys can be free agents. So you calling the older guys saying you're disconnected, you don't know what you're talking about, Trevor. One thing is true. There was no social media back then, bud. There wasn't. And now it's more open. But I still think that negotiations with the owners is still the same. You're not going to negotiate different. You're not going to negotiate different. The owners are not coming in and saying, because of social media, we are changing our perspective. It's not.
Okay, this kid, he's a super.
Well, he's not a kid. He's like 30-something years old.
He's a silver spoon kid.
I don't know.
He's talking like a silver spoon kid. Like, okay, buddy. Like if Daddy was walking into college. Hey, drop it up in college. I'll pick you up at class. Listen, you're not right in this time. You're not right to make comments like.
No, and I feel it's very. It was sad for both sides. I thought it was very disrespectful that you telling guys that like, hey, we're all MLB. We're all ex-players. They have a right to voice their opinion.
because they sacrificed.
Yeah.
And Kyle was a guy that maybe he didn't sacrifice as much, but he sacrificed.
Absolutely.
But other guys, like I was thinking, like if I was a guy that actually went on a strike, okay, and I lost money and time and playing time.
I think Chipper Jones.
Where's he play now? Chipper Jones, where he play for now?
Reds.
Okay, if I swear to God, if we facing you,
well, he gets a hit.
I will drill your little ball to get. I see you in the face.
See, there you go. That's how you take care of everything.
So that's the part that's very sad though, because again, like, and then you got guys again. There's guys like Tex, which I don't agree saying shut up and play. That's also not the way to do it. But have the notion of anything that you write, people are going to take it and say, "Oh, well, why are you writing the way you want it?" Again, and I love Twitter. We all love Twitter. We voice our opinion on Twitter. We make money because of Twitter. But there's certain things, negotiation time, that if you go to Twitter, again, if I'm affecting just Ozzie Guillén Jr. and I tweet something to gain or want to cause something, I'm only affecting me and my family. But when you're in the union, anything that you write, you're affecting the state of all the baseball players.
Okay, Ozzie, easy to finish up this subject. Easy. Tony Clark, my friend, my boy, my respect, because I respect you as a player. I respect you when we play against each other. I think you was more respectful guy in baseball. Step up, brother. Step it up and tell your players, just be quiet
and let us handle this.
Because if you don't, you're going to lose the battle. Just tell the guys, can you please do it for us, for the game?
Please, because I can't have NBA on, soccer, NFL's definitely going to play, and then baseball's the only one.
Can I say something?
Baseball's the only one that doesn't play.
I think the story you have a guy like me.
Please.
I think that
isn't the NHL going to play too?
Yeah, I think the owners are stalling.
Say, oh, it's too late, guys.
No, it's not too late. They're going to have a season, and it's going to be a short one. And the argument that you're making, the woke baseball players that are saying, I'm not playing for this, when you do the math, you're going to end up playing for the same money that you had agreed to.
But the longer they wait, they're going to save more money.
Say, oh, well, I can't pay you that because now it's not half the games. Now it's only 60 games. Honestly, guys don't know this. That's the oldest trick in the book. I'm saying, wait them out. The owner of Venezuela used to do that. Like, you go there and argue your contract for 2 months. By the time you came to work, he's like, okay,
well, here's your money.
I beat them. You're only playing for.
I paid the money.
I tell you what, the owners are.
And guess who gets affected by the daily rate? And that's the part. If I was in the union, I say, wait a minute. Hey, Matt, you're still cool. You guys are still making millions. If the daily rate goes down,
it's the lower guys.
The lower guys are going to be like, I'm going to pay for $100K.
And then you get that money also gets taxed?
Hell yeah. That's the part people don't get. And by the way, with the minor leaguers, it is sad because you want them to play and the numbers increase. But minor league baseball, this was going to happen. Okay? There was a lot of levels. There was a lot of rumors that it was costing a lot of money. I think that they're going back to old school, 4 levels. Rookie ball, single A, double A, triple A.
A lot of minor league, a lot of minor.
Besides that, they have so many levels. They got people, they don't know about baseball. I keep saying that every Friday. They have friends, they read a book, they tell you what to do, they never play baseball, they never do anything. How the hell are you going to teach a kid how to play the game, the big level, when you even smell big?
That's for you, Matt Dennis. We have a lot of minor leaguers watching us and ex-coaches watching us. It's a shame. Because I've been, there's levels in the minor leagues, they got Dominican League.
They got Dominican League.
So now I think after this is all happening, they're going to shorten teams and they're going to try to save money any way they can. And I mean, if you guys haven't seen the news, all these minor leaguers are getting.
But also, this is the thing. I think that it makes the competition better.
Right. The quality will be better.
The quality of the games will be better. The quality of the products and the players are there. Because if you don't believe this, and again, Ozzie Guillén Jr. being the big mouth, minor league baseball drafts that many players for 2 or 3 guys to play.
Yes. Oh no, they make teams. They single A team. I don't know what.
Yeah, this team's for Oni.
Okay, we're here for 3 guys.
So who are you playing for?
Okay, minor league. Who are you playing for? Gordon Beckham. I was playing for Gordon Beckham, which I don't know if that worked out or not. Eduardo Escobar.
Okay, they didn't know Eduardo Escobar was there.
We were playing for him. Eduardo Escobar, Jose Martinez. And Hector Santiago. Hector Santiago. No, I'm talking about
big name. No, I'm talking about not the guys that got lucky with other teams because they stuck it out. Because again, when people talk about Jose Martinez, hold on, Eduardo and Jose stuck it out because there was no other great choice.
No, then if we were playing for Gordon.
But you were playing for who? Who was the top prospect? They said, this is the two guys that were drafted that we're playing for. Who were the guys that you were playing for? Who were the Alec Thomas of your organization?
We when the Sox drafted Beckham. He was the guy. Yeah, because we had like guys that came from trades, like Aaron Pareda. Okay, we're going to get these guys. Minor league players are just there. You have to play games to get these guys better to help.
Here's the thing. I looked at the AAA teams when this guy played. His team had Tony Wynn, John Kruk, Bruce Bochy. Everyone that made it to the big leagues, the least amount of time was like 2 or 3 years. So guys in AAA that were making it. There wasn't like
on our AAA team, we had like Miguel McRone and like Josh Kroger, like guys that they were what they were, but they never made it to.
So I'm saying so the level of when you get minor league baseball and you like compacted. When you look at the rosters back then, there was guys in the '80s getting sent down 6 years in. Yeah, you got to go to AAA. So I think the culture is different. But I think that they're going to
like Dallas said, the quality of talent that plays in the minor leagues now, because of so many levels, it has gone way down, and hopefully this will make it better. It just sucks.
Pick your battle, boys. And Mark said it best. He's watching us right now. Pick your battles. I think that they need to remember this is not the CBA negotiation. You take a loss early on, make the fans happy, and then use your PR and Twitter to remind the fans, remind the owners, we did this for you. Take care of us in the back end. The moment that the owners do not take care of the players in the back end, the fans will come out and the players can say, you know what, we're striking because on this date, this, and this happened, and the fans won't be as bad and as hard on this.
And Ozzie doesn't want to hear anything about replacement players.
I hate replacement players.
Yeah,
and you know what I hate?
Kevin Millar.
That's funny, Lord.
Hey, you know why I hate
the replacement guys coming in?
Oh, man. No, but I told him to do it.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, why are my best friend?
And for everyone that's out there on my social media on Vida Baseball, do not tweet at me and say, I would play for free. Stop.
Well, you do.
Well, I'm saying that you're not. Dude, I played college baseball. I played in competitive Florida, and I couldn't even get a bunt down in the big leagues. No one wants to see you playing.
Right.
No, your talent is not good. That's why independent ball does not sell out. You're watching the Picasso of the quality of the game. That's why people are like, oh, the KBO is horrible. No, it's not Major League Baseball. It's good baseball. I just love baseball. I can watch a Little League game, and I can watch an 85-year-old dude play baseball in the men's league, and I enjoy it.
Right.
The reason people pay is because it's the best of the best. And by the way, the money and the economics, if these players are not bringing this much money, they will not get paid this much money. So stop telling me I would play for free. I think 82.
So if Mike Trout's making $35 million, they're making that back double. Exactly.
And Mike Trout, and by the way, your coach that told you that you were good in high school and you're throwing 78, dude, you would not even make it. There's guys people don't realize how good you have to be in baseball. I have a list of guys throwing 98. You know how many tweets, Instagrams, and private messages I get? Hey man, help me find a job. A 98, good slider. Everyone. So your 80-mile-per-hour fastball that you were gonna do, there's enough talent.
Take it to CNBA.
Take it to the CNBA and let's test it out.
And have the Browns kick your butt.
No. Same with CNBA 98. You guys don't.
The CNBA has the best as well.
We want to have a more positive here on the before we wrap up on a topic that I'm just gonna say it out there. It's gonna cause controversy. People are gonna be mad. People are just gonna get all upset. In my research, I found out that some players are actually better than others. Also, there's people in Venezuela that are always gonna think about who are the best players of all time because
it's a good thing we're not doing this segment in Spanish.
We can do it in Spanish.
A lot of controversy.
Well, here's the thing, though. So there's a lot of this is dictated a lot now. The top 10, and we're going to do this with every country. Okay? The top 10 all-time greatest players. Again, all time. People in the United States have something that a lot of people in Venezuela, for example, don't have, and that's why the opinion changes. The game was dictated a lot in the past on writing. Okay? And if the writers liked you, they would make you this myth. I compare now the myth to the numbers in itself, okay? So like when you do the United States and people are like, oh, you're Mount Rushmore, and like names like Stan Musial and Hank Aaron, it's like, dude, go look at the numbers. Like, don't even look at the name, just look at the number with no name and you go like, oh my God, this guy's a monster. So in the Venezuelan, which it gets harder, the reason that is so sentimental to us is when Ozzie Guillén got to the big league, okay, and He's not that old. It was only 1985 when he got to the big leagues. There was still not in double digits to who got to the big leagues.
Oh, Venezuelan players?
That's what I'm saying. So in 30 years, so when he got to the big leagues, they announced and said, just like Curaçao does now. Think about that. Curaçao was Venezuela 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Saying Ozzie Guillén was number so-and-so to make it to the big leagues. So like in one picture,
you have all of them.
You have all of them. So obviously there's guys like Tony Armas, Manny Trillo, Valdivia Diaz that were bigger than life because they were the only ones at the time. Chico Carrascal,
which opened up the door
to everyone else. So being a pioneer, okay, and then being the best player of all time are two different things. Both deserve their moment of the list. So the list goes like this. Number one, I don't think you can even argue it. Because number one is Miguel Cabrera as of right now. Unless you switch for number two because he's the only Hall of Famer.
No, if we're talking about right now living, they're both living. But like in the moment, I would have to, agree. I mean,
this is all time though.
All time. I think Miguel Cabrera, without having his plaque yet in the Hall of Fame, he's the best player to ever come out of our country. And then obviously Luis, because he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's any argument, and you could probably do 1A, 1B. There's no argument, but obviously if you look at the numbers, Miguel is.
In the life, Miguel Cabrera is the best player ever come out of Venezuela.
Right. You think
they're going to talk about the kid from Malana, Acuna. Acuna. No, you talk about Venezuelan people, always talking like,
well, that's Cargo.
Okay, yeah. He has a long way to go.
Okay, nobody to me. Because the people who are listening to me right now, the people who are saying, do you remember this when Ozzie Guillén said that? They'll be dead. Nobody's going to be a better player than the Miguel Cabrera in the history of the game.
So we can all agree
from Venezuela.
So we can all agree that Miguel Cabrera is the number one. Well, how does it feel that? How does it feel that Miguel Cabrera used to take Ozzie's ID in Miami to go out and drink?
I made him his own.
How do you feel when I told him?
He used to take Ozzie's ID because Miguel told Miguel to get in the club.
And I told the Marlins, Miguel Cabrera is not a shortstop. And they was like, Mr. Banfest, Mr. Genius, you don't know shit about.
And Torber was there too, I think.
Yeah, they go, Miguel Cabrera. When you see Miguel Cabrera, it's not a shortstop. Oh, yeah, no. Then finally, we move into the outfield and the third base, and look at what the career Miguel Cabrera had. But be honest with you.
Okay, so first guy, Miguel, 262 batting average right now, is WAR.
Well, that's
he's on pace for the Hall of Fame. Then it's Luis Aparicio.
He's not on pace for the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm saying though, I'm saying unless he does, A-Rod was on pace for the Hall of Fame.
But there's just two different things. Well, would you make mistake once when you do it twice?
Correct.
You got to get
Omar Vizquel, Luis Aparicio, number two. Again, he's the only Hall of Famer. When you look at his numbers, when the era that he played in. Was a really, really good player for his era. A great defensive shortstop. Number three.
Here's when I disagree.
And here's where, again, this list was given to us, and we're going to change the list. We're going to moderate. The third on the list is Omar Vizquel, and I'm like, with all due respect to Omar Vizquel, I got Manuel and Bobby Abreu.
Yeah, I have both of those guys. Bobby Abreu to me is the third best player to come out of our country. Non-pitcher because. And I spoke to him a week ago.
It's a fact.
He has no idea how good. I send him stuff about his stats and stuff. He has no idea how good he was. Basically, you give Bobby Abreu Nick Swisher's voice, he'd be in the Hall of Fame or his personality. It's just about time. This guy was unbelievable. If he played now, he'd be making $300 million. If he played now, even though he made a lot of money. But he is the poster boy.
The speed, the power,
the on-base. He is the poster boy of the analytics.
By the way, he couldn't do more than Miguel Cabrera.
Way more.
He couldn't do more than Miguel Cabrera. He did more little things than Miguel did.
Well, he got more speed.
Yeah.
And Bobby Abreu was the epitome of WAR, what players are looking for now.
Bobby Abreu's WAR is 59.9. He's actually higher than both Luis Aparicio. He's not higher than Miguel, but his WAR is
that you could argue that he could be the second on the list.
Second best.
So that's how good Bobby Abreu is. Philadelphia just retired his number, well deserving, and he deserves more credit. He's just not. You have to understand. You have to be able to. Some guys don't like selling themselves. Others do. If Bobby had a bigger personality, he would be. And the same thing goes to the next guy,
Maglio Ordonez. The same Maglio Ordonez, 38.5 WAR. Okay. .309 batting average, a guy that played right field, played it very quietly, but also on my list of top Venezuelan players. He's on there.
Yes, and Maggie Ordonez has a good connection with Chicago. You look at his numbers, very gaudy.
People in Venezuela will probably not have him on the list, but he's
on the list, obviously because of political connections.
No, besides that, he played with Detroit, he played with that. He's not a Caracas or Magallanes player.
Very quiet guy.
In Venezuela, do Caracas or Magallanes.
They'll pump you.
You can be, they're still talking about players from Magallanes, like, what? Really? Get out of here. But
yeah, and it is true. Maglio, he has political ties to the government that's going on, so people hate him for that. That's what I don't understand. Let people think and do whatever they want to. I disagree with Maglio, a couple of things you say about the politics. I did. I know Maglio very well, better people think. I'm not talking to him. He's just like, hey, man, you like gray, I like blue. That's your problem. But in the meanwhile, we all sensitive about the problem. Every time we talk about Mario, we talk about Guillén. Okay, people forget about the baseball.
But they have to respect them.
So there goes Miguel, Louis, Bobby Abreu, Maggie Ordonez, and now our fifth I can bring up. At least that's where I would have him.
And then David Concepcion. I think he's on the list, but this is where it gets weird. So you got David Concepcion, K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez.
I think the best pitcher
by the way, who could be the best pitcher, fourth all-time in saves, very effective at his position. And then Andres Galarraga, Joan Santana, and then King Felix makes the 10th.
Right. I would just flip-flop.
No catchers.
It's not only that. Just I have a hard time. Omar. The thing with me with Omar is the longevity.
He played a long time.
He played a long time, and that's why he got certain things. Never won. David, to me, like he won. He was on big time teams. So I mean, I believe Omar will be in the Hall of Fame eventually. But either the way you have those guys, they should be in the top 10.
So there's nobody in the top 10. There's one argument that I have. There's always
and Galarraga was Miguel. Our Miguel.
I don't know about that. Well, Galarraga was Miguel when he was 19, 18.
Oh, he would have.
Oh, that. But Galarraga stopped playing.
Well, it took him a while. No. The biggest debate is Joan Santana and King Felix. So Joan Santana, I think, in my opinion, it had the best run at it. Like
3 years straight.
Best 5 years. But when you look at King Felix's numbers, if you put King Felix in the New York Yankees, he might win 300 games.
Yeah, I mean, and
yeah.
No. Look at the guy has more quality starts.
No,
he always pitched to win.
Always.
And he was just unfortunately
on a team. Yeah, he pitched to win.
And if he would have, and at the time,
if he would have pitched for Freddie's Mariners, he would have been
Ozzy's White Sox,
right?
Yankees,
right? Obviously, he's over the hill right now, but Felix is definitely his run top 10, and I feel like he's Miguel's number one on the list for the Hall of Fame, and he's number one because he's also made the most money. Probably.
Yeah.
Felix has made a great career too. Santana's got to be on there. Galarraga doesn't get enough credit. He got like 470.
So on this list of people that I'm going to mention that don't get talked about enough. I think in the catcher position, obviously, he's not a position that is known for a lot of Venezuelans, but I think Salvi and Ramon Hernandez are fighting for that one spot. I think Salvi at the end is going to go down as the best.
And you talk about everybody will say, Bolillo Diaz was better.
And you guys are forgetting one guy that'll probably be in there eventually.
Wilson?
No, which sucks because of what he's going through right now. Is the little guy?
Altuve.
He'll be on the list. He'll be top 5 when it's over. Probably. He'll be better than Mescal. So there's but the whole trash can thing, he took a big hit. I mean, the guy won an MVP, but he took a huge.
You could be Cargo. You can be Cargo. Okay, Cargo was on pace to being Miguel 2.0, Bobby Abreu, and then the last 4 years of his career have made him in that tier of like 40 or top 10. But that could happen. So right now, if you ask anybody, Acuna is going to be the next big player.
I don't know. The guy got straight because I remember Cargo was terrible with.
Oakland.
No, because Oakland and for the Diamondbacks. We try to make a trade for him. I like him. I asked him, and the Manny Trillo told me, and I went to see him. And I told Kenny, hey, we need a right field before Damon Dye coming out. Can we trade this? And we trade Quinton.
Who worked out great. Venezuela has produced Great talent. But I mean, that list is solid.
So is there somebody on that list? So there's a couple things that during the research that I was very surprised. Number one, how many hits Big Tavalillo hit in the big leagues?
Yeah, Cesar Tovar.
How many hits Cesar Tovar? By the way, Google him. The guy was a stud. And how many hits Albert Andrews? And another name, Osdruar Cabrera.
Very underrated.
Very underrated player. Like in the hits, when he's going to be in the all-time numbers, he was never like a guy that was like the best player on a team like Omar. But when you put his numbers, you're like, man, if this guy would have played in a different era and you put him on one team, he's competing there with a lot of guys.
Yeah, it's very.
My number is 1,500. There's another guy that no one's mentioned on this list, and he could be the best catcher, but he did not catch for a long time. But he ranked in the big leagues.
Well, it's not Henry Blanco.
It's not Cervelli either. Who do you guys think?
Catcher?
He destroyed my dad's teams.
Oh, Victor Martinez.
Victor Martinez.
Yeah,
like
that. One of the best either Venezuelan never had.
Victor Martinez is a guy that no one.
You know what? I'm sorry I had to say this. For Joe Spinazza that's watching, if you still think Derek Jeter is better than Joe Morgan, kill yourself. We saw the numbers. Joe Morgan, number one. Carry on.
So Victor Martinez, okay, when you look at the numbers, a 31.9 WAR, okay, he hit 246 home runs. Victor got 2,153 hits. So
and by the way, he was slow. So those are legit hits. And if you saw Victor in his prime,
oh really?
From 04 to like 2010, he was in his prime. He would kill the White Sox. But Venezuela, I'll say it again, we have really great product and great talent. We wish that, I mean, obviously fans are very passionate, but people always, you root for the guys in your era, and you root for the guys that, you know, you like that you saw. So
okay, the best era in baseball.
Wait, what is that? My dad's life?
Yeah, so
to people.
Oh, ask him.
To people remember you is our era. Because now people watching everybody like every day, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. And
that's how we play in Venezuela.
And everyone has an opinion in Venezuela. It's like, oh, I saw him playing. I was like, no, you
did not play.
You got more hits. Okay, so if he got more hits than Cesar Tovar, he's better.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. I just said guys that no one ever talks about. What number on the list do you think you're in the all-time players list for hits in the big leagues?
All-time in Venezuela history.
In Venezuela. Oh, by the way, the only hits that count, in the words of Louis Aparicio,
are MLB.
Okay, because they don't go, oh, the hit king, and they add your thing from like, whoa, when I was a rookie ball.
What number do you think
MLB?
What number do you think?
Who do you sit?
How many players in the big league in Venezuela?
Born from Venezuela right now. Currently, they're at
194.
I think that's 190.
No, 17. No, keep going up. Right there. These are all pitchers. Go up. They're only giving us a top. We're looking at the top
408 hitters have played from Venezuela, according to this.
I say have the number 14.
You're an idiot, but you're close though. You're actually number 9.
You're in the top 10. You're in the top 10 right now.
Jump. So this is how big the jump.
And my dad doesn't care how many hits he has. All he wishes today is that he shoot a 79.
That's the funny.
That's the reality of it. He doesn't care about. He's like, oh, I'm number 5 on the list, and all he wishes that he can put on his score today. Hey, I shot a 76. He'd be the happiest guy in the world.
So there's no Venezuelan baseball player that ever hit 3,000 hits.
Well, of course.
Miguel might be the first one.
I don't know.
He's got 2,815 hits.
Well, this isn't helping.
him. Omar Vizquel, 2,877 hits. Okay.
Yeah, but Omar had to have a number. He played like 30 years.
Yeah, correct. So Omar had, right now he's got more than 2,000 more appearances than Miguel.
It is at bats.
And at bats. And then same as Louis. So then it's Louis has 2,000 plus hits, 2,500 plus hits. Bobby is under 2,500. Big Cat, 2,300-ish. David, 2,300, which is amazing. Maglio. Victor with 2,153, so he's at number 8, and then you at 1,764. Elvis Andrews will probably pass you if you keep playing because he's 1,000.
How many difference in at bats?
At bats wise, though, Elvis has 1,000 more at bats than Ozzy, and then plate appearances.
Exactly. So
game wise, yeah. Right now, Elvis has more plate appearances. As Ozzy, but then you got here in this list, guys that are going to make it there. Altuve, but like Osdruar Cabrera, 1,600 hits. So
yeah, so basically, what this means is that you're going to be there you'll be in the top 15 for history. Because I mean, other than Acuna and those guys coming in, I mean, everyone else is retired. I got Alfonso, Cesar Tovar. So don't sleep on Ozzy. But we all know who the best manager is in Venezuela.
And that's the thing.
That's no debate.
So when people are arguing that Ronnie Acuna right now has in his career, he's got 302 hits.
Right.
2 years. 302
That's
hits.
150.
That's what I'm saying. But you have to stay
healthy and you have to play. So that is why
I worry about Acuna. God bless.
Because he plays so hard.
This play hard, dive for ball, slide on second base, run from first base to home plate. I love to see that.
Exactly. But you know what we're doing right now? So think about this. All these guys right now, Altuve, 3,000 hits, all these guys, this is hurting them. Corona, COVID, this is taking away.
You're also seventh on most games played ever.
Seventh all-time most games played ever. And you take 2 months away because of the strike.
2 months.
Yeah.
2 months, August, September.
And the injury.
So, and then the injury.
Yeah.
And you would have had a whole year. You'd probably be top 3 with games played. So all these things that's happening right now, which sucks for everyone that's involved, everyone that's home. This corona, this COVID-19 is taking away our livelihoods, it's taking away people doing their jobs, and it's taking away our entertainment. Hopefully, we will golf today, and hopefully the MLB and the union, they can come up with a strong solution that everyone can play. We want to see baseball. We want to, even if we can't go to the stadium, we want to go around to bars and drink and watch games on TV because baseball means back to normalcy, or at least what it is now.
My thought is like for Tony Clark, please, okay, you can tell your players, keep talking, because for us, when you guys talking or tweeting, make our job easy, talk about that. But for the good of the game, for the good of everybody, don't think about owners, don't think about players, think about baseball right now. And just tell your players, just please stop what they're doing, because that will help anyone, especially you. And I think you should tell the players, can you please stop that? We know what to tweet anything about because we crushing ourselves.
Yeah, and if you look at the news, it's very, very sad time for our country. And I say our country because I live here and I'm a U.S. citizen and we pay our taxes. It's very sad time of what's going through. Like, even look at Minnesota and all that stuff. It just seems like arguing over, millions and millions of dollars. It's like,
I think you have to put egos aside, bury your ego before it buries you. You have to come to the table, have conversations, see what the owners wants to be, see what the players are going to be.
Just be fair.
Well, because be fair, but
let's just play.
For the good of the game, we need to remember this is not a collective bargaining agreement. This is something that no one expected. Teams are doing things now that they might have been planning already, minor league baseball. And I think that it's a time where they need to come together. They need to have a voice, and there cannot be this disconnect between old school, new school, players union, owners. So they need to try to come together and again find what out was fair. And do that. And at the end of the day,
congratulations, Carla.
And by the end of the day, I think that we might see the option of guys saying, "Okay, I'm not going to play for that money," and teams saying, "I'm going to play for that money," and that's going to hurt them more in the collective bargaining when it comes through. So, and again,
like I say, they Amber Light. Look at my English guy.
Amber.
By the way, my dad's trying to say Amber Alert.
Amber Alert,
and he said Amber Light.
Okay. No, it's a light. Amber Light.
Oh, really?
So when you go to the light, traffic light, they say beep, beep, beep. Green, amber, and red.
I tell you, if all our fans here,
if there's no baseball though, Ozzy, we might have to do a project for Ozzy. Ozzy gets his GED.
Yes, and we're going to broadcast. We're going to broadcast the Browns games live on Vida Baseball.
By the way, if I could do my high school, I got to call Benito Canonico.
Transcripts.
No, I got to call by like 20 different schools to give me my transfer to
transfer. Okay,
so I went to 7th grade.
That's something that
7th grade, bro. I went to 7th grade.
That's crazy. It's success. By the way, common sense is sometimes stronger than regular books. That's life is pretty right now. For everyone, keep watching us on social media. If you want to watch us live, it's every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to check out the previous shows on demand on our YouTube channel, but also our podcast, you can listen to us while you work out and whatnot. Podcast is on all the listeners of podcasts, and then Vida Baseball Monday and Wednesdays live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also follow us on social media. We have great interviews with current baseball players, executives, always something new on the social media, and then our new shows in our content. So check us out.
Let's go kick Ozzy's butt.
No, how about this? Bye, Adela, Ozzy. I see you in 2 minutes.
So, thank you guys. Have a great Friday.